Like hopefully
I'm sure
it's just in general better quality, like plug-in and system, because sometimes
sure it will be.
I remember playing on the old one, or no, but the 360 when I had one a long time ago, and God, some of those games, it could have been the game's fault too, like they're in system talking,
right?
But it was some of those games were just terrible.
Yeah,
you felt like you were talking through a CB or something,
right? Yeah, you couldn't even you could be playing with your best friend that you've known for years, and you can't understand his voice because he doesn't sound the same.
Yeah.
But that actually takes us right into our poll question, or topic for debate, whatever we want it to be. And we'd like to hear from our audience on this one, too. They can leave comments on the YouTube page, or they can call the Time Spent Poorly hotline, which I don't know the number for.
I don't either.
It's
it's probably not on the thing that I forgot to put it on the overlay.
Yeah. We will have that for the next episode.
Yes, definitely.
You can go watch any of the other
here pretty
podcasts.
soon, might be next week. I'm just figuring out which system we're going to use, or which website we're going to use for streaming live. We might actually be live next week, which will be nice. And then you could just call us live.
Right.
But we might have a Skype set up too. That might be easier for people to call in. They call in through Skype. We'll see what we have set up. I'll try to swing something for next week. At least 2 weeks from now, we'll probably be live. Trying to do something.
For our whole 10
as long
viewers.
as the computer can handle running two things at one time, we'll be good.
So, anyways, the poll question is: what do you use to help you game better? Things like custom controllers. I know scuff controllers are big out there right now, as well as modded controllers. And then headphones or even glasses. Yeah,
those glasses. I mean, I don't know how much the console gamers wear them, just because I think a lot of the professional Call of Duty players wear them, like when they're on stage, because the gunner optics.
Yes.
Which I think you can get in prescription too.
You can.
So I don't know. A lot of PC gamers wear them because you play for a long time, and it's supposed to just stop eye strain.
It helps. It stops eye strain. It actually magnifies slightly.
Does it?
It does.
I've never worn them. So.
I have a pair.
Oh, okay.
I do have a pair.
Do you feel like you have an unfair advantage when you wear them?
I don't have a prescription pair.
Oh, okay.
So I have to put my contacts in.
Oh, okay.
And I don't wear my contacts as much as I used to.
So it probably actually makes you play worse.
It takes some getting used to, but it definitely does allow me to see things more clearly. There's certain maps in Black Ops 2 that everything blends in. Carrier is like the worst map in the world. Everything blends in, and
it's all the same color. It's all gray.
But if I sit there with my gunner optics, I do see things crisper and more clearly, and they do help.
And it should help with at least eye strain. I don't know.
Right.
I don't have a pair. I've always kind of wanted to get one, but I don't know. I haven't been doing the 8-hour gamer sessions in a long time. So
I did a 4.5 hour session the other morning last week. But it was 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, so
yeah.
It didn't bother me. And then as far as headphones, I wear Turtle Beaches.
Yeah, which are what 7.1 surround.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can hear behind you.
Yeah, I hear everything.
And
I love it. I don't think I could play a first-person shooter without them anymore.
It's nice. I mean, on computer, I'm not using a 7.1, but it almost feels like it a little bit.
Right.
And you can hear stuff behind you, all that kind of stuff. I think it just adds the experience, to be honest.
It does. It adds the experience, but it's even when it might not seem like it when you're playing just off your TV or some low end speakers for your PC, but enemy footsteps are slightly louder and more defined
than your own
friendlies.
Yeah.
So you'll hear stomp, back and to your right, stomp, 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 stomp. And just like in my
he's hacking.
Yeah.
He's hacking somehow.
How do you know where I was? How did you know I was there?
I always love that.
I hear everything.
It's like, no, I only think you're hacking when for some reason you never miss a headshot. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. So those definitely make me play better. And then controllers. I was this close to getting a scuff controller, and then they announced the new consoles.
What's the difference between the scuff controllers and the normal
scuff controllers have extra paddles on the back of the controller.
Oh, okay, and you can assign things to them, like melee and stuff?
With scuff, they're pre-assigned. You decide, but once you get that controller, you can't change it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like one would be duck and the other would be jump. Typically, it'd be remapping A and B.
Yeah.
So that you can crouch or go prone and move and aim and shoot all at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's what all the pros use.
That's what I do on the PC, basically.
Right.
I can do the same. Well, you can, you make it Control or Alt or something.
Right.
And then you can literally be running and then just, you're prone.
Right. And you can do that with first-person shooters if you go in and one of their preset.
Well, of course, you can change it to
it's going to screw up other stuff that you're just not used to. So this just takes what you're used to and makes it better. And all the pros use it. Optic Gaming uses it.
They're allowed in MLG.
They
then
are allowed in MLG. It's the only controller other than your original standard that is allowed in MLG.
That's actually surprising.
Well, because it's doing.
They probably weren't going to get anyone to play.
All it's doing, it's not a modified controller. It's a custom controller.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's designed to work better without giving you a necessarily unfair advantage. Controllers like the Mad Catz Razor or a popular controller site is promods.com. Those you can have rapid fire.
Which
things like that,
which I would consider that cheating,
and that a lot of people do consider cheating.
Only because and you can set it up to be rapid fire or burst fire with certain guns,
right?
So and you can have it, or you could have it click like like the gun, like the gun you were talking about last week that was banned in MLG.
The FAL.
Any single fire gun, they could set it up to basically fire that thing so fast it's almost like it's a semi-auto.
Right. So yeah, things like those.
Or an auto gun. So it is a semi-auto.
Fully auto. Right.
Yeah, to full auto.
Those aren't allowed at major tournaments like MLG or the Call of Duty Championship.
Which makes sense.
But SCUF controllers are, and they're not cheap. I mean, SCUF controllers cost about $160.
Oh wow! Well, to be honest, though, it is a complete. I mean, that's a very custom controller.
It is, and you can get nice little paint jobs on them, and you can change the color of the buttons, and you can change your thumbsticks. You can put PlayStation thumbsticks on your Xbox controller.
Can you get like longer and shorter ones too?
No, but you can. What a lot of the pros do is they get a SCUF controller, and then they get Control Freaks.
Yeah, the adapter.
And
it goes on them.
Yeah,
and you can adjust them and stuff.
And, then they get those. They put those on there. And that was going to be my intention until they announced new consoles.
You're like, I'll just wait.
I'm not going to spend $160 on a new controller that I'm going to use for 6 months.
So I'm assuming 360 controllers are not going to work with the Xbox One?
No, they're a brand new controller.
Is it though?
Yep.
No, I mean like, is it though? I know it's a new controller. It'll look a little different, but it's.
Yeah, ergonomically it's slightly modified, but the ports,
same button layout though.
Yeah,
right?
Same button layout.
Okay, so it's obviously it's better technology and newer.
It's same button layout, but there's no back and there's no start button. Instead, you're gonna have a quick menu button and a leaderboard type button. I forget exactly what they were calling them, but there is no back and no start anymore. And I'm not sure what frequency they're gonna run on wirelessly. Because if they're going to run on the same frequency, then I would imagine. Well,
the other ones are USB. I'm saying a wired one's USB. I'm just surprised that they're not going to. I mean, I understand they want people to buy new stuff, but damn.
Yeah.
Some people have 4 of those things.
Well, yeah, and they're not cheap. They're as much as the game, $50, $60.
Yeah, $50, $60. And I mean, the wired ones are $40, I think, but.
Right, the wired ones are a little cheaper, but if you got little kids running around like you and I do, I can't.
No, you don't want wires. No.
I mean. My Turtle Beaches are wired to my controller for chat, and that's irritating enough when my daughter wants to climb in the chair with me.
Yeah. I actually ended up buying a wired one for my console a long time ago just because I went to Walmart and realized I didn't care. I was like, it's just for a friend that's playing with me.
Right.
Like, I don't care if it's wired or not. It doesn't bother me. And which is nice because then I actually use it for my PC when I play games. Right. So when I play like racers or fighting games, just because I'm not using a keyboard for that, it'd be terrible.
And you do get a slightly faster reaction time with the wired controller.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean that's definitely true.
And that's what all the pros use. They all use wired.
Well, yeah. I mean, it could be.
Of course, when you're in a tournament, that's what. Well, I guess you bring your own.
You bring your own controller. I'm assuming it's a 10 to 15 latency latency, millisecond latency, which it's not a lot, but it's, when your money's on the line, that's enough.
Right. I mean, when you're both pulling.
I mean, I have a wired mechanical keyboard for playing like RTS games and stuff because it's just they last longer and there's no latency. You don't have to worry about batteries either. Definitely, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to mention one thing just about I was reading some articles about the PlayStation 4. I mean, it already kind of does support keyboard and mouse, but the developers of the games haven't done it.
Right.
But there's some developers talking about doing it. Like, I think maybe they're trying to bring people over. But they would probably do is have different servers for multiplayer. Like, this is a keyboard and mouse only server. Well, not only, but you know what I mean. Like, if you have a keyboard and mouse, you can't play on the other servers. And I just wasn't sure. It would be nice for someone like me because then I could play with people that everyone has a PC, but it's really way easier to be friends with people on live or on PlayStation Plus or however their system works. I'm assuming, I don't know what it's called.
The PlayStation Network.
Oh, it is called PlayStation. Okay.
It's shit.
No, I know it's shit.
You can't even cross-game chat. You can't just free chat with a buddy.
Really?
Yeah, you can't do it.
Well,
if you want
I'm
to chat,
assuming they fix that with the next stuff. But
you have to be in the same game, in the same lobby to chat with them. There's no private chat.
That's weird.
Yeah. So Xbox definitely got them on that one. I mean, you can private chat.
That's why Xbox has always had them on their online thing. Which,
well, they always had the private.
Well, no, I just mean in general, the lobbies are always faster. Everything just seems better on the Xbox when it comes to that for some reason.
Yeah.
And it could be the fact that they charge so they can have better infrastructure. But hopefully that'll change at least to the fact that it's better for everyone.
Yeah, it is better for everyone. So.
But would you care if there was keyboard and mouse on certain games, as long as you weren't playing against it with the controller?
Yeah, as long as if they had their own lobbies, I wouldn't care. But if somebody was playing against me, because they're definitely like we were talking about with first-person shooters, they're definitely going to have an advantage.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be too happy about that.
Oh no, so not if you're playing against them. I understand that.
Playing against them. They're on my team. Yeah, go for it.
But it would be nice and even if they supported it for everything that wasn't online, like if you're playing Portal or something, any game that isn't competitive.
Yeah, no.
Then you wouldn't care, probably, right?
I wouldn't care, but I don't. At one point, I kind of wanted to get a wireless keyboard for my PlayStation just to make it easier to search. Because
of course,
they had internet on the PlayStation before they had it on the Xbox, and it was semi-handy. The only thing that really sucks about them is there's no Java, so you can't do half the stuff you'd really like to do on your TV.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm assuming the new ones will, or at least support something where you can watch videos and stuff and do normal web browsing. You don't think you'll be able to do normal web browsing?
No, I think they're gonna keep their apps. If you want to watch YouTube, you can pull up your YouTube app. But I don't think you're just gonna be able to pull stuff off the internet.
That's kind of weird.
There's always been some sort of pissing contest with Java and Microsoft and Adobe and all those guys.
Oh yeah, but you would think with Xbox being Microsoft, they would have some pull, but I guess not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Maybe they just don't care.
Maybe it's not Java. Maybe it's Adobe.
It could be that.
That makes it so that you can't watch embedded videos or play certain Flash games. That's what it is, Flash.
Well, yeah, but there's no. Well, there also. I mean, there's not Flash on, or there wasn't for a while. I don't know if there's now on iPhones either.
No Flash. Yeah.
No, they definitely hold that pretty close to the PC.
Right.
For some weird reason.
Yeah. So.
But it's on Android.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, you can watch Flash on Android.
That'd be nice. That might be. I would say that might be worth a switch, but.
I don't think so.
I like my iPhone. Do we want to watch some trailers? We have some trailers up here on our list.
I really just put them on there for us.
Oh.
But we can watch them too. The Grand Theft Auto 5 one was pretty cool.
I was very impressed with that.
I haven't played anything since 3, like for reals. Like I played all of 3, but this one's fun. You can full screen it.
Yeah. With Grand Theft Auto 5, Rockstar have tried to reimagine the open world game in a number of ways. The game world is beautiful, massive, and diverse. A sprawling, satirical reimagining of modern Southern California, covering mountains and oceans, expensive stores and strip malls, urban decay and untouched wilderness, beaches and backwoods, the sublime and the ridiculous, greed and hypocrisy.
You tell me exactly what you want, and I will very carefully explain to you why it cannot be. What? So what we doing here?
We're working, amigo.
For the first time, the game features not one, but 3 would-be heroes.
So now what?
Michael, a once successful bank robber, and now less successful family man.
You know, you're a real asshole.
What did you just say to me?
Stop it! You're ruining my yoga!
Franklin, a hungry street hustler convinced he's surrounded by morons.
We can't repo the assets of a dead man, big sitting cheap asshole.
And then there's Trevor. The less said about him, the better. Introducing 3 lead characters transforms both the narrative into one interwoven story and the structure of individual missions. Players can cut between vantage points.
Yeah, I can use a little backup here.
And from one high-octane moment to another.
Gotcha. He's got support! Get us out of here! Roger that!
This helps to give missions new levels of diversity and intensity.
Damn.
When not on a mission, the use of 3 lead characters also allow for a touch of voyeurism, as you can drop in at any moment and find out what your new friends have been up to as they go about their days.
Jeez, Pop. Too much more of that and maybe I won't be dead by 35.
The world is not only huge, it's packed with a vast array of things to see and do. Cars to customize, planes to fly, clothes to buy, sports to play, nirvanas to pursue, oceans to dive, animals to spot, hunt, and be hunted by, freaks to watch, meet, and befriend,
Get the hell out of here!
bounties to hunt, and on and on.
How have you been?
Oh, simply wonderful. And you?
Somewhere stuck between joyful and peachy.
There's also been a huge focus on mechanics in the game to make every aspect as fun and fluid as it is broad. Everything from driving and shooting to tennis and bike riding feels fun and responsive. However, alongside all of this leisure, people also have to take care of business. For all their pretensions, these men are dangerous thieves.
It's an industrial area, right? So I'm thinking vehicles. Trash truck to block, tow truck to sack.
To survive, they have to set up and pull off a series of increasingly audacious heists.
Gentlemen, some plans for your attention?
The player sets these up themselves, then decides how they execute them and with whom.
There's 2 ways I see of doing this. We go in smart, let's go. Or we go in loud and dumb. Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, this is your moment! Please don't make me ruin all the great work your plastic surgeons have been doing.
After the take is divided, you decide what to spend your money on. Anything from sensible investments like tattoos and fast cars, to risky ventures like stocks and Los Santos real estate. And then there's Grand Theft Auto Online, which we will show you properly soon.
So yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, I hope it eventually gets a release on PC, because it just said PS4 and or PlayStation and Xbox.
Oh, I'm sure it will be on.
Well, the other ones eventually got there, so
Right.
it'll probably happen eventually.
Yeah, I played 4. I think I've played a few minutes of 3, and I've watched some people play it. And I enjoyed 4, but it wasn't something that I went crazy
No, yeah,
over.
that was the same way.
And I've got buddies that are super excited every time Grand Theft Auto is talked about. And
I don't know if it was just because I spent so much time in 3 that once 4 came out, it was kind of like, been there, done that. Like, I've already played a lot in a game. I don't want to invest that much time again, maybe.
Right.
That might have been it.
There's a lot of go there and do this, go there and do that. And I get tired of the monotony sometimes.
Yeah.
But that trailer is so impressive that might actually
buying real
convince
estate,
me.
that's definitely new.
I mean, buying real estate,
doing
managing
stocks
your
and stocks. Yeah. I mean, that's...
If you want to go do something different, you can go play golf.
Yeah.
And
That's
tennis.
definitely...
There's so much there.
Well, it seems big. Very
it does.
big.
Very big, and it looks cleaner. It looks like it plays cleaner.
Actually, I didn't look or just didn't realize. Is that for the next gen, or is that coming out on normal consoles and then next gen after?
That's a good question.
I'm assuming the release date isn't soon if they haven't even released Well, it looks done. The game's probably done.
Probably.
So
yeah. Well,
or you know what I mean.
We'd hear if it was gold.
I guess when I mean done, I mean like all the assets and everything look done. They just gotta probably finish the quests and all that stuff.
Release date is September 17th.
Okay.
So it's coming out 2 months before
the new
next
consoles.
gen, but
they'll release them on there. I'm sure.
I'm sure they will too.
And I also wonder how the multiplayer is gonna. I wonder if multiplayer is gonna be much better on the next gen consoles because of the cloud computing and stuff.
I imagine it would be.
Although the cloud computing for PS4 is until next year, so it probably won't be. I don't know. Maybe it won't change anything because there's not enough to change.
Yeah, I don't.
If only one out of the 4 can do it, I'm sure they're not going to care.
Right. But that's probably one of the most impressive trailers that I've seen this year.
We don't necessarily have to watch the Brutal Doom or all of it, but I just thought I saw it and I was like, this looks like a very interesting game. It's like the version 19 trailer or something. I honestly didn't do a lot of research to see. It's different. It's different than obviously the original Doom. It looks like it could be some fun. I don't know.
Well, let's check it out. I haven't seen it, so we'll leave the mics on for commentary with this one.
I also love the music. It matches very well to what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely has like the original feel to it, but
yeah.
And maybe it's just a mod. I don't know.
Oh, that could be.
Because it still looks terrible. It's just it looks like it could still be fun. Like the mechanics look better. I don't know. If it was $12 on Steam, I'd probably buy it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you go watch it. It's longer. There's a lot of carnage, a lot of blowing up, and that kind of stuff. But
Brutal Doom version 19 trailer available on YouTube. You can watch it there. The
other one we don't need to watch. It was just a Wii game that I saw that looked like it was very interesting. So if go check out the Wonderful 101. There'll be a link in the description for all these videos. I'll put them in there.
Perfect.
You're basically 100 superheroes. And you can form to make different things, like a gun or like a huge person with a sword. Like, it looks very fun.
Huh.
And it's very, Nintendo-esque when it comes to the graphics aren't very good, but it looks like it could be interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out later.
Something for maybe a girlfriend or a kid. I don't know.
Fair enough.
So I think that's
all I got.
Yeah, slow week in news, like I said.
Week.
And Tom should be here next week.
Tom should be here next week.
He forgot.
We got the schedule straightened out, so
everybody
knows it's going to be a weekly show now.
Yep. I guess we could talk about, have you been playing anything new?
Oh, I have not. I put a little bit more time into The Last of Us, and then I put some more time into Black Ops 2 because there's a new map pack. I still haven't played one of the maps on the new pack yet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I still haven't played Cove, and that's I watched a gameplay Lost in Place did on it. And my my thought on it, which I mentioned last week, that it was going to be a very disorienting map, very easy to get lost and lose your sense of direction, and it definitely was. He commented on that a few times, that he just didn't know where he was, what direction he was facing, because you're just on a circular island that all looks the same.
Oh.
And you got guys coming from
So there's not a lot of landmarks where you can be like, hey, I'm by statue.
Yeah, no.
Stuff like that.
Nope. You've got a down plane kind of in the middle of the map and a couple boats on the outside, but it's pretty mirrored. So that's the only one I haven't played yet.
Probably why.
Maybe.
People keep skipping it, maybe.
I haven't even seen it.
You haven't seen it come up on the playlist?
No, but I haven't had to force myself to spend as much time on it, because every time I play, I get my clip for the week, and I'm like, oh, I don't have to play it for a few days. I can focus on The Last of Us.
Play something else.
I'm trying to get through The Last of Us, and then I've got the new Devil May Cry.
Oh, nice.
That I'm going to play. And I'm sure
that looked fun.
I'm sure I'll blow through that in a week.
Oh, yeah. It'll probably be, what, like a...
it's probably an 8 to 10. Yeah. 8 to 10 hour playthrough.
Normal console playthrough.
Right. And then I'll be back to Black Ops Hardcore until Madden.
Man, I would love to play a different game type on PC.
What do you play?
I just play Team Deathmatch because there's mainly, not because I enjoy it. It's not my favorite one. I would rather play Domination or something else. There isn't enough people to play on the PC to have enough lobbies to where you get a very good connection.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I run into that here and there. Do you play core or hardcore?
Well, I have to play core because there's enough people playing hardcore.
Really? Wow.
No, I mean, literally, I actually couldn't believe it that I went back to play Modern Warfare 2 this week just for a change of pace, just to play it again. And there was about 500 people online playing Team Deathmatch, and then I went over to Black Ops, and there was like 1,500 playing. I was like, oh, sweet. So the game that is 4 years old
has more people than
just because I guess maybe it's just cheaper. I'm not sure. I went to go look at the DLC price, and they were still $15.
Oh, yeah, no, they won't go.
I don't understand.
They have
Activision.
Sales. They have sales on the Xbox every once in a while where they're like 33 or 66% off. But
a DLC from a game that's for almost 5 generations back should be $3.50.
And they don't even release Game of the Year editions for those.
Nope.
The only one they did was the first Modern Warfare had a Game of the Year edition. I
sure,
think, didn't it?
Never played it.
But yeah, they haven't since. So
that was in my WoW days.
That was in your WoW. Yeah, I play hardcore just because the lag doesn't allow me to perform well in core. Having to follow somebody to kill
definitely
them.
Yeah.
You've got to put 3 times as many bullets in them to get them to drop, and with the lag, I shoot them and then they skip across the screen. And
with peer to peer, you have to put way more bullets just because the first 3 didn't even register yet,
right?
Or didn't register at all.
So I keep I watch my internet connection very closely, and I'm still not satisfied with it.
You'll never will be. If we don't live somewhere where enough people play that game to where you can get people in the Northwest to play against. You're playing against people in LA or New York.
Yeah.
Or Europe half the time.
That's the nice thing about about Black Ops 2 is that you can put your
definitely you can definitely
best, and I don't
Can you guys actually choose a ping?
No. We can't choose a ping.
They changed that on the PC where you can. I can choose 90, and it won't choose a game over 90. It'll literally just put me in a lobby by myself if I can't find anyone.
Wow, that's nice.
It's very nice, which I'm assuming maybe that was a test for to come, because they're technically dedicated servers, but I don't know where the hell they are.
Right. That's true.
I actually don't even believe it. Show me this.
I don't. Bad?
Well, I'm at 100 ping all the time. Sometimes I'm at like 70. Sometimes I'm at 65. But I'm usually at 100.
Right.
It's just weird that it changed. I mean, that's a 30 to 40 ping swing is a lot.
Yeah.
I should be connecting to the same server every time.
Yeah.
It just seems weird that I'm not. But maybe there's not enough people on that server to play against me, so I have to go down to someone else to buy, LA or something, in California or Seattle. I don't know.
Yeah. We need better internet here, but that's another story.
Well, just not cable. Well, your ping should be, what, 80? 85?
70.
Oh, that's...
Well, depending on what speed test I run, it's 70.
Oh.
If I go to Verizon's speed test...
Well, it depends on where you're testing to, like, what part of the country.
Right. Well, yeah, if I go to Verizon's speed test, then I'm getting half the download that I should be getting. That's actually that's not your. If you were to go on like Steam and download something, it would be at max. Right.
It just shows you that low because the file you're downloading is so small.
Sure.
It seems that way for me anyways, because it'll only go up to like 10 and I have 40. And then when I download something, I'll be downloading it like 5.8 megabytes per second, which is what it should be.
Right.
So.
Yeah, when I run a speed test, well, on Verizon speed test, I'll get 30, and I'm paying for 60, and my ping's 70. But then if I go to speedtest.net, I get like 6, and my ping's like 140.
It really depends on what you're downloading and how.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I've got like 3 different speed tests that I check at least once a week, and they all vary.
Yeah, they're all different.
They're all different. So I'll probably call Cable One again tomorrow.
Hopefully they do something like they did in Battlefield. Which it's the only game I've played on the PC where, with the dedicated servers, you could literally choose when you want to play on.
Right.
But it would be nice to be able to like, hey, I am 70 millisecond to this server all the time. And you could choose to play on that server 100% of the time.
Rent to servers.
Yeah, and it just replays over and over again. I mean,
that would be
and
nice.
I don't know, Call of Duty doesn't seem to like having those type of servers be ranked. Because the Modern Warfare 3, you could play on dedicated servers, but it wasn't ranked.
Right.
And so I'm assuming maybe you'll be able to rent one through them. I don't actually know how they're going to work. Hopefully, it's kind of like how Battlefield is. I mean, I love Call of Duty more than Battlefield, but that's the one thing about. I wish it was in every game.
Right.
Every multiplayer game.
They both have their pros and cons.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
There's definitely stuff that I want from one to go to the other, and vice versa. But
I wanted to talk about Grid too.
Oh,
just for a second.
Yeah, you were.
I played it last week. I didn't talk about it last week just because our show was so long. But I don't know. It felt like it was trying to be like flies going crazy around me.
Yeah.
It was trying to be kind of like a Gran Turismo or Forza type game,
right?
With like damage, all that kind of stuff. But then they were also trying to make it seem like you were doing a Need for Speed, like underground one where like you're trying to get fans and get. It was really. They didn't do either one right. Really, you can't customize the cars very much. You can change the rims. Yay. Which I mean, even in I'm not sure about Forza. I haven't played a lot of Forza, but in all the Gran Turismos, you're not necessarily changing a lot of stuff, but you can get some turbos and all that kind of stuff. And then in Need for Speed, you can do anything you want. But they didn't do any of that kind of customization. The racing was okay, but the levels literally just kept adding on like a track to the same level. So you're seeing the same thing the whole time, and the cars look really good, but everything else didn't. Like literally the landscape and all that kind of stuff looked like they didn't spend any time on it. Like they didn't care. Which at least in the newest Gran Turismo games, not Gran Turismo, but the newest Need for Speed games, when you're out of the city a lot, landscape looks really good. Because they were using, at least in the newest one, they're using the Frostbite 2 engine to do it. So then that kind of helps them a little bit, but did make it racing. Yeah, isn't that interesting?
So yeah, they just went, well, Grid 1 was fairly successful, so let's just push out another one.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like.
Let's just sell the title.
Yeah, and then the person that was like talking, like talking to you, the computer talking to you, was really loud and obnoxious, and like the first little bit you would, they tell you to do something wrong, and you're like, oh, okay, I understand I did something wrong, and then you keep doing it, and you wouldn't really do anything wrong, but it would keep telling you you're doing something wrong, and it was really frustrating. Only the fact, like, I'm winning. Like, why are you telling me I'm doing bad?
Right.
Or why are you talking at all? I've been playing this for a couple hours. I don't need your help anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I can turn you. I should be. I mean, there might have been an option to turn it on and off, but it shouldn't have been there to start with for that long, anyways. And then I don't know if it was just a PC thing. I didn't play on the console, but like there would be bumps in the road, like a bridge or something. But inside the city, they were like all the time. So you would be hearing the boom, the boom, the boom, and it was super loud. And you could turn it down, but then all the other sound effects, engine sounds would go away too. So it was, I don't know. I didn't think it was very well made, and I played for about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours. I just stopped. I just didn't play anymore.
What'd you pay for it?
God, what was it? I think it was 50. They're all 50.
That sucks.
All the games that are normally 60 on the console are 50 on the PC. So I think it was 50. Maybe they'll. I mean, it's fairly new, so maybe they'll fix some stuff.
Maybe, yeah. If you hear enough backlash, I don't know.
It's kind of a SimCity to me, where I just kind of got on a whim because I enjoyed the other ones and didn't do any research for some reason, and yeah. But to be honest, I've read some reviews and they're always way too nice on a lot of the big ones.
Right.
So
Yeah.
or just issues I had that they didn't notice, or they didn't do it on the PC. Maybe it was a PC issue. They do kind of port those games over poorly sometimes.
Right. Yeah, that
But,
could be. Kind of takes me
whatever.
back to my my train of thought last week that I lost,
Mm.
which I actually remember and still remember where I was going with that.
Oh, okay.
I was going along the lines of support the industry and support your the developers, because we were talking about used versus new.
Oh, yeah.
And what Xbox was trying to do, or what Microsoft was trying to do with the Xbox One, and obviously not everybody can afford to buy every new title that comes out.
Oh, of course.
But I wouldn't be, personally as a consumer, I wouldn't be upset if Microsoft and Sony or the developers themselves got a small portion of a used game from a secondhand company like GameStop, or some sort of monetization from GameFly or something.
Like, you wouldn't care if it was $2 more than it should have been?
No, I wouldn't care.
Okay. No, I just mean because
if I can still buy it cheaper,
as long as the money isn't being taken from GameStop and given to them,
right?
But if it's just an extra cost,
that wouldn't upset me, because if I have a series that I love but I can't afford to buy new, I still want to support that series, so I'm going to play that game. But I want my support to go somewhere other than
just the GameStop,
right?
Or GameFly, or whoever,
or whoever. GameStop, somebody that's just selling.
Yeah,
I want to support my industry, or the industry, and the companies that
that is kind
enjoy. So I mean, I see both sides of the argument in the used argument sale. So that's where I was going with my thought that I lost at the end of the episode last week.
Okay, and that makes sense. I agree with you. I haven't bought a used game for a while. What do they usually run? 15 to 20?
Yeah,
depending on how old it is.
Depends on where you go and what it is. I know at Hastings they generally don't get much cheaper than 15 unless it's super old and super shitty.
Mm-hmm.
I think you get Duke Nukem for like $5.
Oh yeah, or Brink.
Right, or Brink is also super cheap, but popular titles never really go below 20 used, or $17.99 or something like that. But you can, the pawn shops always have deals. You can get, I think, First Interstate, you can get 5 games for like $20.
Oh,
or something like that.
And they don't care about titles.
No.
Oh,
they were for a small portion of time. At one point, they had a flat rate, and then they had somebody working there that knew what they were getting, and so popular titles that they got quickly would be $10 more.
Oh, okay.
But it was still cheaper than going to Hastings and buying a used copy.
Yeah.
And then Pawn One does care about title, and they are aware of what they have, but you can still find some good deals there. But yeah, if I find a good deal that I can't pass up on, then I obviously won't pass up on it. But as much as I can, I do try to buy new and support the industry. And
yeah, I just don't know if you can force them to do that. Like, I don't know if Xbox can force them to do that, or anyone can.
I think that's where they were leaning towards. I know I heard somewhere I never heard them say we're not going to allow used copies.
Oh, of course.
But that they would have some sort of arrangement with specific companies, which I imagine would have been GameStop. And they did say rentals would not be an option at launch, which definitely would have hurt GameFly.
Well, yeah, they would have only had PlayStation and Wii, I guess.
Right. Well, I mean, they would have had current gen titles, but.
Well, yeah. I just mean in the near future.
Yeah. So I mean, but now they're saying the same thing that Sony's saying, is they're going to leave it up to the developers. So there's still the possibility you're not going to be able to
be honest,
use titles.
Developers just need to make more DLC content that's download only, and it's a reasonable price, and make it good.
It needs, quality. I mean, you gave $50 to a developer for a shitty game.
Yeah.
That you played maybe 5 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, it was a couple of different nights. So yeah, about 5 hours probably total.
Yeah. So I mean, that's another thing is if Microsoft would have stuck with their structure they were going with, they would have lost. I still would have bought a console because I liked where I thought it was going.
Mm-hmm.
But they would have likely even lost some money from me, because there would have been there would be titles that I would be interested in, but I probably wouldn't go spend $60 if I couldn't play a demo.
Well, yeah, they definitely need to. That's definitely.
You know, if you're going to make it so that you can't buy used or rent, then there would have to be a demo for like
or
release.
Beta. What do they call betas now? Which aren't really betas in a lot of the console titles, but
right.
they're mainly just for server stuff. But I wish they would believe in their product enough to release a demo for every game.
Right. You can almost. No, I'm not going to say 9 times out of 10. Maybe 7 times out of 10. If there's not a demo for a game that you're excited about, it's probably not going to be very good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I really think that if they lowered their prices, they would make more money.
Likely. But
in the long run.
When a game costs $30 million to make.
Well, some of them shouldn't cost that much.
Some of them should not. You're correct. Some of them should not cost that much. But you know, for your AAA titles.
Yeah, which hopefully some of them don't go away, but hopefully they make some new ones.
Yeah.
I'm really tired of seeing the same thing over and over again, but
yeah.
You know, with new consoles comes innovation, so.
Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about before we forget. Did you catch any of the articles about Ellen Page being upset at the Ellie character model for The Last of Us?
Seriously? Because it looks kind of like her?
It's exactly like her. And it sounds like her.
Well, yeah, but to be honest...
and her talking cadence and everything.
Yeah,
it is
but
Ellen
she's
Page.
not the only person on the planet that does that.
No, she's not, but...
She's not that special.
Are you aware she's got a game of her own coming out at the end of the year?
Sure, I'm sure. I didn't know that.
There's a game, and I'm really excited for it, called Beyond Two Souls, with Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe.
Oh, yes. I did see that.
It's the same guys that made Heavy Rain.
I don't know. I didn't think the character looked. She's a small-statured girl, isn't she? She's not a woman, right? She's a girl.
Right, she's a girl. She's a 14-year-old girl.
So, and Ellen Page is probably, what, 25?
Yeah, she's in her 20s.
So, she's complaining about a small-statured girl that might look like her, but when the girl gets older, most likely won't. Like, it seems... So she looks like a little girl and she's complaining about it, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody asked her on Twitter what she thought about...
I'm trying to think of another game that has a small-statured female, like, young teenager in it. I don't know.
Yeah, nothing's jumping out at me.
I don't know. I just think it's not fair to have a... I don't know. That doesn't seem fair to me to complain about something like that. Every actor in the world should complain then because they all have a doppelganger.
Right.
Some certain people have jobs because other actors were famous before them. Like,
right.
We can't afford Brad Pitt. Well, not Brad. He's a terrible example because no one looks like him. But there's lots of actors that... I actually was looking at a list the other day of, like, they had 2 pictures and like, yeah, they look fairly similar. And it's just the only reason we have a job is because of them. So just the way it is. There's always something based off of someone else that's popular. Right. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You're gonna sell... But... When I first saw anything about that, when I watched the original trailers or any kind of gameplay, the first thing in my brain was not, that's Ellen Page.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. I didn't actually even put that together until you just said something.
Really? Oh, I did.
No.
Of course, I'm a fan of Ellen Page, so I
don't dislike her. I don't know. It's when I saw the trailer for this game, I said, that's Ellen Page. It looks exactly like her.
Yeah.
Before I realized it was.
Yeah.
And because it was.
Yeah.
This one's not. It's not her.
Right. No.
Of course, I didn't play the game, so I don't. Maybe her mannerisms and stuff are really similar, but
yeah, they are. A lot of stuff's very similar. It's definitely a foul-mouthed Juno.
Mm-hmm.
In The Last of Us.
Oh, she swears a lot and stuff.
Oh God, she talks F-bomb a million times.
That's interesting.
It's perfect too. But
I think she should feel flattered. Maybe she's. You think she's just upset because she's in a game coming out soon, and so it kind of hits close to home.
I think that's part of it. Is you know, she's got her own title coming out at the end of the year, which is, I guess it's not really going to compete because The Last of Us is already going to be, you know, running its paces. I mean, DLC, but
what are they, 5 months apart?
Something like that. I want to say October or November. Beyond Two Souls comes out. But the more I look into and the more I look at Beyond Two Souls, the more impressed I am with it. The first trailer I saw was like a 5-minute cutscene, and then like 15 seconds of gameplay at the end of it. But the voice acting was obviously top notch. The CGI was top notch, and I was like, this looks really interesting. And then they put out a new trailer at E3 and some more gameplay.
Yeah.
And that all looked really good. And then I read that they did somewhere along the lines of like 600 hours of motion capture, and not just for the cutscenes.
Yeah, for the game.
For the gameplay.
Yeah.
When you're moving your character around, when you're walking Ellen Page around, you're
that's
walking Ellen Page
around. See, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's done by the same guys that did Heavy Rain, so it's going to be a quality story. And, and it's got Willem Dafoe, who I'm also a big fan of.
I love Willem Dafoe.
And he plays a phantom.
When I think of Willem Dafoe, all I can think about is him playing his gay character on
Boondock Saints?
Yeah, Boondock Saints. Yeah. That's him in my brain. I don't know why. I wish he was that character all the time.
Yeah.
It's just the way I feel about it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite characters. So yeah, I did want to touch on those.
That's interesting. That's definitely. I mean, and that might get more prominent when they can do better looking people in the new next generation of stuff. I'm assuming, and facial structure and movements and that kind of stuff. They'll be able to do more. So either there'll be more actors or there'll be more people looking like actors.
I want to see more actors.
No,
I do. I like the actors. I think
it's a good idea, because it's kind of like a movie that you can control, I guess, but that they're not real. They're not trying to look like a real person,
right?
So it doesn't have that creepy factor that a lot of the Beowulf type movies have had,
right?
Where it wasn't good enough to look non-creepy,
right?
So
I
guess that's it.
That's it for me. I'm Johnny 5, SC Sampson.
Follow us on Twitter.
Like us on Facebook.
Like the video, please. It does help. Subscribe to the channel too if you want to watch more. There's more stuff. We got other shows. We got movie shows, comic book shows, bullshit shows. What I mean bullshit, I mean bullshitting, like talking about just random stuff, whatever's going on in the world.
We've got some gameplays. We've got Road to 100, which is Black Ops 2 gameplay. I will get to 100 plus kills, and then I'm gonna have to rename the fucking show.
Road to 100 again.
Road to 100 and that's the nice thing is if I don't get it, then season 2 is just the next game.
Well, I mean, to be honest, you could always strive for that. It's hard to do.
It is. It's hard.
And since I play so much Team Deathmatch, I'll never hit that. I mean, I've had, on Team Deathmatch, had 40 kills before or something.
Right.
The game ends when you get something, when you're going crazy on people, but
you have to play.
You got to be playing some sort of objective game,
Objective. And like I said, it's so difficult for me to play core.
And you just had 72?
73 and 6.
73 and 6?
Which I uploaded for my last episode of Road to 100, and I keep saying 73 and 4 in it. I don't know why I thought I went 73 and 4, but it's 73 and 6.
Whatever, it's still impressive. That's a lot of kills.
It was a good game. I was like this close.
Especially on a new map.
First playthrough, too. I mean, and like I said in my video, every time I download the new maps, I go into custom games and at least do a walkthrough of them, and I'm like, oh, I like this area, I don't like this area, I definitely want to avoid this area, and I was able to utilize that in my first playthrough, and it worked out really well. So,
all right.
So,
well, thanks for watching,
and leave a comment in the comment section.
Yeah, about the poll question.
About the poll question.
Or on Facebook.
Or on Facebook. Either way.
Tweet at us.
On Twitter. Tweet at us. And let us know if you think things like headsets and glasses and controllers are cheating. What's acceptable and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
See you next week.
I'm making a note here. Huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction.